Louganis. Greg Louganis shares with us the most powerful secret that he kept hidden from the world when we come back. That's poetry. Every time Greg Louganis stepped up to the platform, his body kind of flew through the air and it soared with grace and beauty. And he stole the hearts of people all over the world. None of us knew that this double gold medalist in diving hid a deep, dark secret. Greg was gay and HIV positive. Greg has come forward. He is publicizing a past that has come to change his future. He has a new autobiography out. It's called Breaking the Surface, which is good for a diver. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest diver in history, Greg Louganis. Does that feel good? Why write the book?
Well, I wanted to, I was diagnosed with HIV in 1988, early in 1988. And then a year after I was being, I had blackmail threats from an abusive spouse. And so the thought that ran in my mind was the truth shall set you free. And so...
Who was trying to blackmail you?
Tom.
You don't have to give me a name. The person you call Tom?
Tom in the book, yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know, that was kind of a running theme, but, you know, I understand now that I wasn't ready for it. And so it was a process, you know, to be ready for it, to be able to talk about it. And I also wanted to be here and healthy, you know, and be able to talk about it.
Instead of having people talking about you.
Yeah, and instead of like going to, you know, the hospital and worrying about the tabloids and what they're gonna, you know, what they're gonna say.
What were the young years like? You had trouble in school because you didn't do well. I didn't do well in school, but you, were you dyslexic?
Well, what happened was when I started school, I stuttered. And so I was in speech therapy. Had a very difficult time reading, but I wasn't diagnosed as being dyslexic until I was given, you know, my freshman college English class. I was given dyslexia as a vocabulary word in my freshman English college course. And I recognized that and I go, oh my God, I'm not retarded, that I'm dyslexic. I was teased a lot. My skin was darker than most of the kids that I was attending school with. And
that's because your biological father was Samoan.
Was Samoan, yeah. And I wasn't too bright, and I was involved in sissy sports. You know, it wasn't, you know, baseball or basketball or football. You know, I was in acrobatics and gymnastics and then diving.
Tell me about your father.
It was with my dad. I mean, it was a hard road, you know, in the beginning. But, I mean, that's one thing that I'm so proud of, that we were able to come full circle and make peace with each other. When he was diagnosed with cancer, I came out to him about my HIV status.
You told him that you were HIV positive.
Yeah. And so it became a crusade for life and quality of life. And so we really, you know, battled together. And that's what really drew us together. When
you were a child, what did you think of your father? He drank, right?
Yeah. He was tough. It was, you know, he was kind of hard on me. I mean, I remember one incident where I couldn't get myself to do a back 1.5 pike, and he knew that I was ready for it, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And then my coach says, okay, you know, we'll try it tomorrow. And, you know, that day, it was usually when we drove home together after workouts, then, you know, my dad would just say, repeat everything that the coach said. Okay, you got to get your head up, you got to, you know, point your toes, you know, and repeat everything. But this time, he was silent. And so I knew I was in trouble. And then when I got home, then, you know, he said, put your suit on, you're going to do back 1.5. At the board, you know, in our backyard, which is like a little fiberglass thing. It's not a regulation board. And I remember him taking off his belt. I remember being hit by the belt, but I don't know if it was, you know, upstairs or downstairs where the pool was. And I did like 5 back 1.5s, and I kind of took it out on myself. I tried to land as flat as I could just to punish myself, you know, to try and make him feel bad.
Yeah, kids will do that.
Yeah.
The book is extremely candid, and you write very openly about several abusive relationships. In fact, you were even raped by someone you thought loved you. Have you not had a good love relationship?
I don't think so.
You haven't?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for that. I really do.
I have my mom.
I know, but you know what I meant. I meant
know,
a romantic
I know.
love relationship. You said that probably the hardest thing was this person you called Tom. Was he the one that raped you?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you put up with his being so abusive? Do you know?
Well, at the time, I thought I deserved it.
Like, but you see, so many women have sat in this chair, Greg, and so many, we always talk about women being in an abusive relationship. I don't think we've ever, of all the things I've talked about in 12 years in this show, I don't think anybody's talked about men who are in abusive relationships and stay because they think they deserved it.
Well, the thing that was so amazing to me last year, in preparation to get ready for the book and to be able to talk about a lot of these issues, I was in therapy. And, you know, my therapist asked me about, well, what did you think about the domestic violence in the OJ case and all that? And I was like, I was appalled by it. I couldn't believe, you know, nobody deserves that. And then he says, well, how does that relate to you? And it was like a light went on in my head. I was like, oh, my God, I guess
This is
nobody deserves it, not even me. Even though it was an abusive relationship, it was a relationship. And so, and I had been in it for a long time. And by the time that more information was coming out about, you know, being able to be tested, you know, that they found the virus and all that, you know, we didn't get tested because we felt that we were safe. We didn't fit a lot of the profile of what they were talking about, you know, all these different partners and, you know, lifestyle things and, you know, that didn't kind of apply to us. So we felt that we were safe. I guess the first time that I was concerned was Tom in the book came down with shingles in 1987. And that was kind of the beginning of thinking, well, maybe we aren't safe.
Shingles is a common thing to have when you have AIDS.
Yeah, because it's a response to a depressed immune system.
And did he find out first that he had AIDS?